What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And for this video is going to be a teachable moment. I am very into teachable moments, guys. Teachable moments, if you are able to be taught, if you are a person that is open-minded, if you are a person that listens more than they actually talk, whenever a teachable moment presents itself, you will be able to learn something through observation versus learning it through your own personal experience. This video is about Joe Smith and his wife. For those of you who don't know Joe Smith is a professional basketball player. He actually plays for he used to play for my team, the Golden. I messed that completely up. Joe Smith is a former NBA basketball player. He used to play for my team, which is the Golden State Warriors. I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, and Joe Smith used to be on the Warriors. I don't know where he went. I don't know what happened to his career after he left Golden State, because once people leave Golden State, I don't even follow them anymore. There's only been two players that I followed that used to be on Golden State. One was Tim Hardaway when he went to the Miami Heat, and Latrell Sprewell when he went to the Knicks. Outside of that, I don't follow any Golden State Warrior players once they leave the team. Once they go to a different organization, I don't follow them anymore. So I had no idea when Joe left Golden State how his career progressed after that point. But I did see a picture of him in a Lakers jersey. So at some point he was on the Lakers. I didn't even know about that. So in this video, his wife started recording the interaction between her and him. And I want this is going to be a teachable moment, because a lot of people have did reaction videos to this, and I'm not making this video to just throw out a whole bunch of names against this woman, because there's a whole lot of reviews that already did that. And I really didn't start my channel to do that, to just come on here and start busting people down. I started this channel because I wanted to help men, because not only did I feel, but I know that a lot of men just don't have someone that they could go to and get quality advice or quality information. Unfortunately, as a community, and when I say community, I mean men, we've dropped the ball on that. Like, a lot of us have grown up and made a lot of mistakes that we wouldn't have made if we had someone who was knowledgeable and wise in our ear telling us not to do certain things. And as a result, we're going through a lot of stuff today that could have been avoided if we just had other men that would step up and kind of show us the ropes and take us through different situations and scenarios. So this video is going to be a teachable moment. So I'm going to play the video. She did an interview. Joe Smith's wife did an interview through TMZ. Quick synopsis. Joe Smith's wife is an adult. She's in the sex industry. According to her, he knew she was in the industry when they met, and he didn't see that as a red flag. He married her anyway. They've fallen on hard times financially. I'm not sure how much money Joe made in the league. I could probably Google it and find out how much he made playing basketball, but that doesn't include endorsements and commercials and things like that. So whatever the case may be, he doesn't have the same net worth as he had when he was playing. And this is the trap that a lot of these athletes fall into. When they're making the most money that they're making, they attain a certain lifestyle. But when the money starts to dwindle down from whatever the high was in the height of their career, they never adjust their lifestyle to the new uh, revenue stream that's coming in. So if you're bringing in, 20 million a year, and you have a lifestyle that's equitable to 20 million a year, once that dwindles down and you're bringing in 10 a year, the lifestyle has to change. But a lot of these athletes try to maintain the same lifestyle, even though the revenue that's coming in is a lot less than what it was when they initially set up the lifestyle. So that's a lot of traps that these athletes fall into, not adjusting their lifestyle later on in their careers when they're not making the same, when they're not signing the same kind of contract. So let's take a look at this video, and then we'll come back. We'll break it down into nice syllable chunks, and I hope that when I'm done, it can be a teachable moment for you. So let's listen to the video, watch the video, and then we'll come back and I'll give my thoughts.
I guess the first question is, where's Joe?
How are you guys doing?
Where's Joe?
He's pretty pissed off with me. So he's been, I think he's at his sister's house. He's not talking to me right now. So, yeah.
Keisha, how long ago, obviously we saw in the video that Joe's saying he had no idea that you had this account. How long is the account, have you had the page?
I've had the page for at least over a year. It's on my Instagram and my LinkedIn, but that's what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife, period. And, he has a friend that he's been entertaining, and she decided that, she wants to really put a bigger, wedge in our relationship. So she went digging around my page and was like, oh, do you know that she has this? And it blew up from that. And it's no secret, Joe's financial issues,
Mm-hmm.
and I have always made a good life for myself, before I met Joe, I was living overseas in Europe, and I had established myself as a singer, and I came back here, thinking that with his persona and who he was, once we got together and I found out who he was, that it would only take off, other things. But, not everybody's hustle and drive are the same. And depression is a serious thing also. So, I've been just like, supporting and dealing and going through his trials and tribulations with him. I've started several businesses, I've been doing a lot, and I just figured out, I have a home in Cape Verde I'm trying not to lose, and a roof over here we're trying to maintain that we almost got kicked out of. So I just kicked in the drive and did what I had to do, and he won't do it. So I had to, and I'm sorry, you knew I was an adult video star when you met me. So if I would do anything for my own survival, then what makes you think that would change now? When I retired from the adult industry, I promised myself, if I don't sing, I don't eat. So when, my music career wasn't popping here when I left Germany and I stayed here for him, I figured, I would, start a business. I started a puppy friend social club business, a dog sitting business. And then COVID happened and that screwed everything up. I have a moving company, that he actually works for me. He works for my moving company. I'm tired of being the one to figure shit out. So I figured it out the best way I know that can maximize the money that needs to come in, because I'm tired of living I'm tired of living minimal, it's not fair. And I don't understand how you could have had such a maximized life and be so content. This is ridiculous. But we've been together for almost 13 years, though. We've been together since 2012, after his retirement. And it really wasn't a retirement that he wanted. It was a forced retirement because he just got locked out after the lockout in the 2011 lockout. You guys remember, right. He just never got a new job. Nobody wanted him anymore. So, there was a depression, and I've been dealing with all of this stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry for what I'm doing. I'm just sorry that he can't understand that that wasn't a selfish decision. It was a decision that I made. I made an executive decision when my man wasn't taking the lead. I really love Joe. Um, I love him. If he never speaks to me again, I still will do things to help him or whatever I can because he's my family. He's like an intricate part of my life, and I just want the best for us. And I wish he wanted that also. That's really where I'm at. I wish that he wanted the best for us because he's not really wanting the best for himself. So I can't expect him to do for me what he can't do for himself, I guess. And that's why I just did what I had to do.
Have you drawn that line in the sand that you will continue doing OnlyFans?
Unless something else happens that, changes that, no, I'm going to continue my OnlyFans. I think as a couple and just him individually, he needs counseling to help find out how to re-find himself and find his new place in the world. It's really hard once you've had a major career. You were the #1 draft pick, and then everything ends. How do you deal with that? I don't want to be alone, but if that's what it has to be, that's what it has to be. But I don't think we'll have a divorce. I don't think so. I think he'll come around.
All right, guys. So before I go all the way in on this video, guys, I'm gonna tell you that it is of my belief that she loves this guy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she said a whole lot of stuff, but at the end, she said counseling, and I don't think we'll get a divorce. And if he never talks to me again, I'll still try to help. She obviously loves him. That I can say. Now, you may disagree, but I listened to this video a couple times, and I was listening to the things she was saying, and I can tell that she has emotions, for him, that she has feelings for him. She loves Joe. Now, I'm going to put that aside for a second, and I'm going to start to go in on some things that she did. Number one, I don't even understand how her and Joe's interaction got recorded. Guys, this is the response that she did on TMZ, but there's actually a video of her and Joe where Joe is confronting her about the OnlyFans. And she's arguing with him. He's telling her he didn't know she had it. She's defending herself. But the bottom line is that it's being recorded. That was the first red flag. I don't know what it is about these women today. And it ain't even just the young ones. Like, she is not a young woman. Neither was a Cheesecake Factory girl. But for whatever reason, every time something's going on, they feel this need to record it. And that's because most modern women are just addicted to attention. It's all for attention. And this is why social media is thriving. Like, men and women are on social media, but women is what push social media. It is the quick dopamine hits that you get by looking at TikTok videos, YouTube, especially TikTok, because it's just hitting you. They're short clips. So you're getting a dopamine hit after another, after another, after another, after another. And before you know it, you've been scrolling up and down looking at TikTok videos for 2 hours. Very addicting because of the dopamine rush that it produces in your brain when you consume this content. So that's the first flag, is she's recording this interaction. Another thing that is a flag, before that even became a flag, is that she said she was an adult entertainer when Joe met her. Guys, teachable moment right here. Teachable moment. If you meet a woman and she tells you that she's a sex worker, she's an adult, corn star, corn worker, anything like that, and you're looking for a wife, that should be your exit sign. That should be your detour sign. That is a clear flag. That is a red stop sign, a red light, a do not walk, do not, like, a yield sign. It's everything. Whatever sign you want to come up with, that is a sign. For whatever reason, Joe went past that sign and continued to pursue this woman for marriage anyway. So that was the first mistake and the biggest mistake that Joe made. Why he did it, I can't tell you why he did it, guys. The only thing I can say is when he met her, he must have been so enamored by her physically that he just disregarded a clearly red flag. And I don't know this woman, and I'm not going to sit here and throw stones or bricks at this woman, but we all know that if a woman, the same way we know a guy who's mixed up in drugs wouldn't make a good husband, is the same way we know a woman who is a sex worker wouldn't make a good wife. I mean, this is common sense. So now that we got past that, let's address this. She said some very disrespectful things that should have been kept behind closed doors. Like, the most intimate relationship you'll ever have is your marriage. And there's things you're going to find out about your spouse, things you're going to find out about your husband, things you're going to find out about your wife that should never be aired out. No one else should ever hear about it. There are just some things that just should stay between husband and wife. And I feel like she let some stuff leak out that shouldn't have been leaked out. Saying she had to make a decision because he's not leading. She didn't say that he's not being a man, but she said it in so many words. So many words she said it without actually saying that particular statement. I had to make an executive decision and do what was best for us, meaning that he's not taking the lead, he's not taking charge, he's not doing what he's supposed to do to get them set. She said she had a furniture company and that he works for her in the business that she started. So she basically aired out his deficiencies as a husband publicly on the internet. And as we all know, the internet is forever. So that is never something that's ever going to go away. He could do a complete 180. If what she's saying is true, he could do a complete 180, but that information that she said about him will always be out there. So there are some things that should just remain private. I don't know why so many women feel the need to air out the things that happen in their marriage to everybody else when it's not their business. Jada Pinkett does the same thing. She goes on her talk show and airs out stuff that shouldn't be put out there. She writes books about it. She does interviews. Like, I don't understand what the obsession is of women just airing out the intimate details of their marriages for the whole world to see and the whole world to listen to. It's really bizarre to me. So that was another flag. She also said that she used to be a singer. She was living in Germany and she came to the United States. She stayed with Joe, married Joe, and she said with her singing and her having her adult business going on, and Joe being who he is and his reputation and his cachet and status, she thought that together they would be able to build something. So that lets me know that she had an expectation when she met and married Joe. She had an expectation of where they would be or end up, because she brought up her businesses and what she was doing and what he's doing. So that tells me that she had an expectation of taking her business or businesses, or they would create a business together and be this, the typical modern term that modern women use, this power couple. Like, modern women are always saying how they want to, let's form a partnership, let's be a power couple, let's build a dynasty. So she had illusions of being a power couple, building an empire, building a dynasty. Like, everyone wants to be Jay-Z and Beyonce now. So that was an expectation she had, and that was an expectation that was not met. And she said that in the interview, that, you know, when someone doesn't have the same hustle as you or the same drive as you, that's the other problem too. That's another flag. A lot of modern women are very ambitious. They're very driven when it comes to making money. And that is just such an unattractive trait to a man. Like, who wants to be with a woman who's as ambitious as you, or over ambitious, or overly ambitious, meaning more ambitious than you? Like, that's such a turnoff. Because men in general have a certain level of ambitiousness. Because we understand that it takes a certain level of ambition to be able to take care of a family. Because ambition usually correlates with quality of life. So men in general have a certain level of ambition. So when you meet a woman who matches your ambition, or who is overly ambitious, so in this case, she's more ambitious than he is, that is a turnoff. That is very unattractive. And you can see why she was making, quote unquote, the executive decision and doing this and doing that. Because out of the two, she is more ambitious and more finance driven than Joe is, from what she's saying. So that's another flag. Another thing she alluded to was that he was cheating. She said he had a friend that went on her Instagram page and was the one that pointed out to him she had an OnlyFans. She said he didn't know about the OnlyFans. She said she had it open for about a year, and he would know if he paid attention to his wife. So that sounds like she was taking a subtle a shot at, it wasn't even subtle, but she was taking a shot at him and the friend as if he's having an affair, which he could be, and he's not. He hasn't responded to say otherwise. So, I mean, that could be true. But she said she has like two or three businesses going on right now. And I don't know what it is, but modern women are addicted to starting businesses. Like, every time you talk to them, they're starting some kind of business. They want to start a business. Like, it's insane how many of them are just driven to start businesses. And this is why the relationships are not working, because the women are literally turning into men before our eyes. They all want to start a business. They all want to be a boss. Like, it is extremely unattractive. I can't say that enough. It doesn't matter how you look. Yes, if you are attractive, guys will sleep with you. But I'm telling you, no, it's not attractive in the long term to be with a woman like that. No guy wants to be with a woman that's more competitive than he is. Like, it's just a complete and utter turnoff. It does not work. It does not make a man want to marry you or take care of you. We have an innate nature inside of us to take care of a woman. but that woman needs to meet a certain criteria. She needs to be someone that can actually be taken care of. And you just cannot take care of a competitive, ambitious woman as a man. You cannot. You just simply cannot do it. That innate nature on the inside of us to take care of and to provide instantly turns off. It just shuts down. We don't even want to do it. That's why it's always the damsel in distress that gets rescued. A man does not want to rescue a strong and independent woman. Like the protect and provision component inside of a man just shuts down when he sees a strong and independent, competitive, ambitious woman. He has no desire to even take care of her. That biological intuition inside of him just shuts down. But when he sees the damsel in distress, who's feminine and she's vulnerable and she's unprotected and she's soft and she's sweet, then that biological innate ability inside of us, it kicks in. It just kicks in. You want to come to her rescue. But you don't want to come to the rescue of a strong, independent, ambitious, competitive, argumentative woman. You just don't. It does not draw the protective, provisional side of a man out of men. It just doesn't. Now, she said Joe went to his sister's house. So he found out she had an OnlyFans and he left the house. Again, there is a weird dynamic that's going on between these two. He finds out she's on OnlyFans and he leaves the house and goes to his sister's. Usually, if a woman, usually how it would go, if a woman found out a man was cheating or something, she would leave. It used to be she would leave and go to her sister's or go to her mother's and take the kids. It used to be she would leave. In this situation, Joe left. But I don't know if they shared a house. I don't know if it's Joe's house. But it's just weird that she's doing something he don't like and he leaves. That's just strange to me that he would leave. If she was doing something that he don't like, why is he leaving? Why is he going to his sister's? And I don't want to step on Joe's manhood, and I'm not trying to do that. That's not what I'm saying. And he's married to a modern woman. It's not his fault. He was raised like the rest of us were. Most of us was raised by single women. Most of us had that simp indoctrination. We had the demasculization indoctrination. Them telling us how a man should act, how a man should talk, all that stuff. But you can see a blurring of the gender roles in their marriage. It's just she's very masculine. She's doing very masculine things. She's taking on the leadership role. She's exhibiting the masculine qualities and the masculine traits. If you listen to the video where when Joe finds out she's on OnlyFans, she basically said, yes, I'm on there, and so what? What are you going to do? That's basically what she said. This is usually how a man responds. When a woman finds out about something he's doing, she may not like it, and he just say, look, I am doing this, and this is the way it is. And then she storms out of the room upset. This was the complete opposite. He found out she has an OnlyFans, and she went back to sex work, sex stuff. And she told him basically, yes, I'm doing it, and so what? He said, I didn't know you was doing that. She's like, well, now you know. And what? And it's like, you can totally see where the respect is gone. Like, she still loves him, I believe that, but she doesn't respect his authority. She doesn't respect his authority because He's not leading the relationship in a way that meets her expectations. And whenever you stop leading in your relationship, you stop being a leader, you stop being the one to progress and lead and steer the direction of the relationship, your wife will instantly or automatically, over time, gradually lose respect for you. You can't be with a woman who has more ambition than you, more drive, and who's more masculine. You can't. It'll never work. It will never work. She will always look at you as less than. Now, she said that Joe is depressed and that she wishes that he would get back to how he used to be. So that leads me to believe that back when Joe was playing basketball, he was probably completely different. He was probably more confident. He was probably more assertive. He probably had, self-esteem. She said he went through depression when he was no longer in the league. And she said something very important. She talked about transitioning. A lot of these athletes, when they are no longer playing the sport that they were in on a professional level, they now have to find another lane, another avenue that they can go into and be just as successful. So I can see why he got depressed or fell into a depression. He was a #1 draft pick. He played basketball at the highest level that you could play it. And then when that's over, you have to try to find something else that will fulfill you in the same way that basketball did. And most athletes are not able to do that. It's very, very, very hard to duplicate that level of success in another field of work once that athletic career is over. So I can see him changing. I can see him no longer having the same confidence, the same self-esteem, the same assertiveness, because he's not able to detach Joe Smith, the basketball player, and attach it to something else. It seems like he doesn't have a something else. Because I used to be Joe Smith, the basketball player, the #1 draft pick, the professional NBA player. And then once the NBA goes away, who am I now? I'm just Joe Smith. So I can see how a depression can come in there. So from what she's saying, a transition took place from how he was when he was in the league and playing basketball to how he is now out of the league and no longer playing basketball. But guys, this is the climax. This is the teachable moment. Know who you marry. One of the most important decisions as a man you can ever make in your life is picking the right woman to marry. Depending on the woman you pick for marriage, the woman you pick to spend the rest of your life with, the woman you pick to share a bed with, the woman you pick to go to war with, to be the mother of your children, to be your helpmeet. Depending on the decision that you make, that wife can either make your life or she can break your life. So you better make sure, double damn sure that you pick the right woman. There are a lot of men out here that didn't pick right, guys, and they going through the ringer right now. Tyrese comes to mind. Kanye West comes to mind. Brad Pitt comes to mind. And a whole slew of other athletes. What was the one that was with Brittany Renner? Even though he's ridiculous. I think his name was PJ Washington. But he didn't even learn. He turned around and did the same thing again with another girl. But you got to make sure you pick right, guys. Because depending on the woman you pick to spend the rest of your life with, she can either make your life or she can break your life. It's one of the most important decisions you will ever make. It is not a decision that you take lightly. It is a decision that you need to be double, triple, quadruple damn sure that this is a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And I feel like Joe Smith, when he picked this woman to marry, I just feel like he wasn't in his right mind. I don't know any man who's sane who would soberly choose a woman who does sex work to be a wife. A man that has options anyway. I know a lot of sex work women, they have boyfriends, and you know, these guys are simps. They're not guys that have a lot of options. No offense to those guys, but it's just the truth. Men who have a lot of options tend to pick the best. That ain't even true. Because that ain't even true. Because PJ Washington has a lot of options, but he keeps bagging up these IG models, man. So that ain't even true. That goes to show you that having a lot of money just magnifies a person's personality. So if a person was stupid or a simp without money, with money they're just going to be a bigger simp. That's all. But men who are sane, who have some sense, when they have a lot of options, guys, they don't choose women like this. They don't. And Joe Smith was a guy that had a lot of options, but again, having a lot of money has nothing to do with how a person thinks. You can have all the options in the world, but if you're somebody that's stupid, you'll just make bigger stupid decisions with the greater options that you have. So the flags were there. The flags were there before Joe even married her, and he went through with it anyway. So I sympathize with him, but I don't empathize with him because he saw it for what it was, and he decided to move forward. So I sympathize with the situation that he's in because, you know, she went on TV and said some things publicly that should have been privately held within their marriage. But I don't empathize with him because he made a conscious decision to move forward and marry someone who he should have known damn well by her track record and by what she was doing that she 9 times out of 10 wouldn't make a suitable wife. Now, anything's possible. They can get back together and then go on and live happily ever after. And I'll stand on what I said at the beginning of this video. I do think she loves Joe because she ain't yelling and screaming divorce, and she's saying she think they'll get back together and she'll always help him. So I don't know, but that's the teachable moment, guys. Let this be a teachable moment. Too many times we see these things and then we just start talking and hurling insults, like with the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett thing. Even though Jada makes it so easy to do that, use these as teachable moments. When you look at other people's lives, if they're doing things right, let that be a teachable moment on how you should move, how you should live. If they're doing things wrong, let that be a teachable moment so you'll know how not to move and how not to live. So, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this Joe Smith situation. If Joe depressed, I don't think this relationship is going to end. I could see him going back to her, but he would have to accept her being on OnlyFans. She said she's not getting off, so we'll see. But guys, leave a comment below. I'll leave the link below so you can check out the video, and I'll talk to you soon.
It's stupid, yo. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you couldn't even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, yo, that's fucked up.
Wait, no, calm. You're not gonna say fuck me, or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
You recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going to. Okay, look. So,
I
It's disrespectful,
have an
first
OnlyFans
of all.
page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course, I'm mad on just finding
But
out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself,
It
so
don't
why should I have to
matter.
tell you my
It
choice,
don't
my
matter.
body, my
I'm your
body, my
lover.
fucking
I'm your lover.
choice?
I'm your partner. You're supposed to come to me and talk to me.
Joe,
about
I've
it.
been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no
You knew
solution.
who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before